Greetings, it's Christine the Arctic Spider. Today I want to make a video that I have been wanting to do for a while. It's how I judge a compilation when buying one. When I was a baby bat, one of the things I used to love doing is buying compilations because it was a way for me to find bands. So that way I could learn more about bands that I didn't know existed. So with this experience or multiple experiences, I have learned how I can judge good compilation from a bad one. When I was a baby bat, I remember looking at the compilations, and there was this one compilation that I clicked on, and I looked at the track list, and it made no sense because in this compilation it was including bands like Evanescence and so on, which are not really goth. It's just labeled as goth when in reality they are not. And I was a wise baby bat and thought, that's not goth music, and I was right. It was not goth music, so I seriously dodged the bullet there. But after some while, I found out, okay, now I know how to judge a good compilation. Okay, there are 4 categories: bands, songs, price, and package and extras. We will start with the biggest category, which is bands. I think the bands in a compilation are really important. What kind of bands you can find in the compilation is the question you will ask. Does this compilation have new bands, old bands, or something in between? Or does it have a combination of new and old? I personally think that a good compilation has both. And when you judge a compilation, you should kind of look how many bands you recognize and how many you don't. There should be at least 1 or 2 bands that you know. Unless you are risky, I don't recommend doing it. But the thing with a known band shows that the compilation is serious, that they know what they're doing, instead of just putting bands that don't really belong in the compilation. So yeah, so there's a link between the known and unknown bands, that they are in the same genre or somehow connected to each other, maybe inspiring source or something like that. So yeah, also what's really important is, even if the band could be old or new, but it's really important to include rare bands too. For example, a band is popular and they started in the 80s, for example. Bauhaus, for example, is really good. And then suddenly there is 13 Chime song there. 13 Chime might not be so popular as Bauhaus, but they probably started making music in the 80s, somewhere around there, which is really kind of good because there's the rare band and Bauhaus, there is some kind of link, so they can actually be in the compilation together. And actually, I have a compilation where this happens, but maybe not on the same CD, but yeah, you get the point. known bands, yeah, I mentioned again that known bands are really good indicator that the producer of the compilation knows what they are doing. So yes. Uh, Also, what's really important is to check the genre. And what I mean with this is because some compilations have a theme that they have to follow a specific genre. So it would not make any sense that a compilation would have bands that play completely different genres if the compilation is a theme compilation. So it's really important the difference between a normal and theme compilation. So the theme is, for example, if they have a specific thing that they're going after. For example, I will show this silhouettes and statues compilation. Um, it has a theme. It's supposed to be goth music between 1978 and 1986. Therefore, it will completely destroy the theme of this compilation if I put a band after or before this year. So a theme is a thing that they follow. So also the best of is also a kind of theme, or maybe only death rock compilations, or maybe only dark wave. That's a theme. Whatever theme they are going, they should include bands that follow the theme. If they don't, it kind of shows lacklusting. So not really good in my opinion. Okay, now we are in the song category. So bands are completely okay. You know that the bands in the compilations are serious, that they are goth bands and they follow the theme, okay, if the compilation has a theme. I have one without a theme, so I can show you an example. It's this one. It's Gothic compilation part 53. This compilation has some traditional goth music like The Last Cry, and it also has more industrial sides like Skinny Puppy. I confess I bought this compilation only because of Skinny Puppy. And it was a blessing because this compilation has so many good songs and so many good bands that I could explore. For example, I really love Asylum Angel. It's one of my favorite songs in the disc too. So yeah, in the track list you see CD1, CD2. So yes. So songs. So then you ask, what kind of songs can I find in this compilation? Are the songs old or new? Are there uh, rare songs, B-sides, or are they kind of more known songs? Uh, I do not think it's so important if the song is old or new, unless the compilation is following a theme. What's really important is if it's a B-side or a popular song, because popular songs make a compilation boring, in my opinion. Why? Because these songs are so easy to access. So if you think in a sales perspective, so if I had the same song on two compilations, why should I then buy both? Or if the same bands, same songs, and so on, it will be a competition. Which one uh, should I buy? And then they will maybe depend on price and so on. So I think it's best to have B-sides, and it kind of shows more color of the band's music and the songs when you put B-sides over popular. The only time I'm okay with this is if the compilation has theme, like popular best of themes and so on, popular songs top 10 or something like that. Then I'm completely okay with popular songs, but usually there should be B-sides because then you get most of the music and the band by buying the compilation, in my opinion. Okay, so I have spoken about that. Yeah, I mentioned a rare song can be old and new, so it doesn't really matter when it was published, but how rare it is. Like underrated songs. Okay, so also when you're picking songs, it's really important to follow the theme too. So, like I mentioned with the bands, it will be completely waste if somebody put a song by some of the bands that is published later or before the 78 and 86. So songs are also something to consider, but I think bands are more important than songs. So next category is price. Price is extremely important because then you will know if the compilation is worth the money. How much do you pay for the content? For example, I personally don't see worth paying for a compilation with only 10 songs, unless the songs are rare, because you get so little content. But for example, this, it has around 16 or 17 songs per disc, which is worth money in my opinion. And same as this, I didn't pay so much for this one, but it has around 19-18 songs per disc, which is worth money in my opinion. Uh, Labels have tendency to increase price when the content is not really worth your money. And usually the money does not go into the band, but the label. So yeah, price is important, but maybe not as important as bands. So packaging and extras is the fourth category. It's the final, but it does impact because when you look at compilation, you see art, and the art will affect price too because you're paying an artist to make this. So a fancier package will usually increase the price of compilation. This is maybe not something that people think about, but it does affect. Like for this, I paid a lot of money, not only for the music, but part of the extras. And it takes more time to produce this. So of course it's logical that you spend so much effort to increase the price so you will get something more for all the hard work you put into it. So yeah, extras will play a big role. I personally think that a good compilation has extras. It isn't always necessary, but I really like extras. For example, what I like with this compilation is that it has some history of the bands and a little bit of the post-punk era, and it has pictures and so much beautiful things. I am so happy I bought this. This is like a 5 stars compilation. I cannot complain. Whoa. And this one has no extras, but it was still worth money because of the content, despite extras. So it's something you should think about buying. What also helps with extras, it makes the compilation stand out, and when that happens, people are more likely to buy it. With this, you have a really beautiful model, and that can help because we're humans. But if you're not really interested in that, maybe you are more interested in beautiful art, which can help you to maybe want to buy this. So yeah, what I also like with extras is quality, because usually when they produce a compilation, they have to check everything, that everything is correct. It will be really embarrassing to have faults in a compilation when so many people are gonna read your the text in the product or compilation. So it more time and effort is put into this than this, obviously. So it's a good quality product. Of course, this is also good, but this one is still slight better in my opinion. So yes, that's how I judge a compilation. Of course, there are more ways. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and see you in my next one. Bye.